Howdy, folks, and welcome to Internet Roundup. Our internet clubhouse.
Yeah,
on the web.
that's right.
Isn't that after the colon?
Brought to you by Lycos.
What's that?
That was one of the original search engines.
Oh,
Remember
was it?
Lycos? Go get it.
No, I don't
It was like
remember
a
that.
black lab that ran off and came back with like your search results.
I was late to the internet.
Yeah, I wasn't using it either. I just watched a lot of TV
Gotcha.
at the time, so I saw Lycos ads and Prodigy. Remember Prodigy?
I do remember that. They were
AOL.
Great band.
They were. I got a high five from the MC of Prodigy once.
Oh, really?
Hmm
Actually, I didn't really like them, but
I liked them.
I get it.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Well, today we have found some stories. Which one of these do you want to start with?
I say graves in Australia.
Yeah, this was pretty interesting. You dug this one up. The title of this article is "Losing the Plot, Death is Permanent, but Your Grave Isn't."
Yeah.
And the general thing here in South Australia is that in a Dudley Park cemetery, they were recycling graves, basically.
Yeah.
They're running out of room, like everyone is, because there's too many people
Yeah.
and not enough place to bury them.
Right.
I know we covered that with New York City. And so they kind of revived the ancient practice of burying people on top of other people.
Right, recycling graves essentially.
Yeah.
And there's been a huge outcry in South Australia because they've regulated and legalized and normalized it. So if you follow a specific procedure, you, the cemetery owner,
Yeah.
can recycle a grave, right? So basically what you do is you identify a grave that's no longer being paid for.
Well, that's the key.
Uh-huh.
If you find a family member, they can keep the what do they call it? The internment rights.
Yeah.
As long as you're paying some dough.
Exactly. Or any member of the public can.
Yeah, sure.
But so nobody's paying any money on this grave anymore. They photograph it. They write all the details down about it. In the near future, they'll be laser scanning the whole thing and digitizing it, and basically keeping it for posterity.
Yeah.
Then the grave wrecking party begins.
Yeah, they call it the lift and deepen
Yeah.
process.
So they dig up the person,
Mm-hmm.
set them off to the side.
Lift.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then they dig a little further down.
Deepen.
And then they put the person back in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get this part, smashing the headstone.
Yeah, it said they will grind up the headstone and bury it with them.
Right. Well, they said smash. I get grind.
Yeah.
But
It sounds
was
angry.
Like Hulk break, you know?
Yeah, sure.
And they just, why not just bury the whole thing as it is?
Yeah, just lay it gently.
Sure.
Maybe it was lift, deepen, and smash.
Right, yeah.
Was the original thought there.
Yeah.
And that is courtesy of the Burial and Cremations Act of 2013 in South Australia. And, you know, it makes sense to me. And I've never been one to, I'm a cremation guy, and I don't put a lot of stock in like I get why people do it, but I think it's kind of antiquated.
It is.
And we're running out of space, and so you got to do something.
Yeah, in some places, like Hawaii, I believe, they bury you standing up. Just for
really?
Space alone, yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
That makes 100 times more sense.
It does, but even under that circumstance, you're still eventually going to run out of space because,
Yeah.
At any given point, there's only X number of people on the planet, but every day you're adding to that number of people who have lived and died.
Yeah.
And if everybody gets a grave, you are going to run out of room pretty quick, especially on an island, even if the island is a continent like Australia.
I wonder in Hawaii, instead of saying they were laid to rest, they say they were stood to rest.
Stood to rest.
That would be a little awkward.
Yeah.
So, there you have it. South Australia. If you want to keep your families, or if you're just a kind-hearted person, keep it going. Keep paying.
Yeah. But we should say if it is a heritage site, meaning like an ancient burial place or an indigenous burial place,
Right.
then it's a whole different ball game.
Can't mess with that.
But if it's a modern European-style cemetery,
Is that what it's called?
you better pay up or else your grave's going to get reused.
That's right. And this is from one of our favorite all-time sites, I think, probably, Chuck Shepard's News of the Weird.
Yes.
It is a classic site, and it's always fun just to see what's going on there.
Yep.
And I share a little something with a bunch of killers, apparently, and that's my middle name.
That's right.
Wayne.
Yeah, back in the 1990s, Chuck Shepard noticed that a lot of killers have a middle name of Wayne.
Yeah.
So he started compiling a list, and if you're a News of the Weird reader, you'll understand that all of the other readers started sending him, here's another killer with the middle name of Wayne, here's another. So they compiled this enormous list, scores long.
Not necessarily serial killers, just killers.
Killers.
Yeah.
But not even like manslaughter killers. It was people who committed murder or who were being tried for murder.
Yeah.
So he says that he stopped updating the list in, I think, 2008. And that it's just people who were in the news. He didn't go over the rosters of penitentiaries or anything like that.
Yeah.
He also points out he doesn't know if it's statistically significant or not.
There's a lot of them, man. I'm scrolling through this list.
But there are, there's a lot of killers with the middle name of Wayne.
Just keeps going and going.
You should go check out this list. It's fun to just kind of scroll through. And then it's a great entree onto the rest of the News of the Weird site, which you should have bookmarked as a thinking, sentient human being.
Yeah, he says he has no idea why. He says one thing he suspects maybe is that aggressive personality fathers in the 50s and 60s disproportionately named their boys after John Wayne.
Right.
And I was named after John Wayne.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a fact. But my father was not an aggressive personality.
No. Which is why you're not on that list.
I guess so.
Yeah. Either that or you haven't been caught yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. So again, go check out News of the Weird after you check out our site, stuffyoushouldknow.com. And that makes this Internet Roundup.
See you next time.